Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be showing you guys how I bleach the knots on my closures, and I'm just showing you here the products that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to get started with this process. I'm just going to show you exactly what I do just to get my closures looking like scalp. So I have a 5x5 HD closure, and if you're working with HD, you know it's a little difficult to bleach sometimes. You can really over bleach them, and I'm going to show you how to get a perfect mix and how to correct it if you need to. So you see how small the knots are on this closure. When your knots are really small, you know it's going to bleach well. I'm just going to take my spray bottle just to make sure that the hairs in the front are laying down flat because I don't want to get bleach on that. And then I'm going to show you how I mix a nice thick consistency, and I'm going to give you a way to measure. So I'm going to take 1 scoop of the bleaching powder. I'm using the BW2 Bleach. And I have my 30 volume developer. Now this is a 32-ounce bottle that I have, and I keep these caps lying around. I usually keep a couple of these caps lying around for measurements. It's a good way to measure. And I'm going to use 2 capfuls of those to the 1 scoop of bleach. So I'm going to start with the 1 capful. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my brush and mix that in. Just going to start to work it in, and then I'm going to add the 2nd capful to it. So this is a good way to measure out your product. That way you're not wasting product or you're not making your product too loose. You do want this to be type thick so it doesn't go through onto the hair and over bleach your closure. So I'm going to take my time and mix that up. It's going to seem really thick, but when you keep at it, you just need to take your time and just mix it up. You know, make sure that you're mixing it in well. So the next thing that I'm going to add to this BW2, since I'm not using a blue base powder, so I'm going to be using this red and gold corrector. And I'm going to add about 5 to 6 drops at first, and I'm going to mix it in. And this is also going to loosen up the consistency. So you want to make sure that it's nice and thick at first, and then you mix that in because it is going to loosen it up. And then I'm going to add about 2 more drops. So altogether, I add about between maybe like 7 to 8 drops of it. And that's good enough. And then I'm going to make sure that that's nice and mixed. You want to make sure that your powder is, your consistency is smooth. Make sure there's no lumps and everything is mixed up pretty well. And then I'm just going to take my brush, get that at the edge of the bowl, just like that. So that way it's going to be easy for me to pick it up. So now I like to use a plastic knife. You can also use a spoon. I'm sorry about my camera. I didn't realize that the settings were off and it keeps going in and out. I hope you guys can just, basically see what I'm doing. But I'm going to take a knife, and you can also use a spoon, which is really good to spread. And I'm going to start at the back, at the bottom of the closure, and I'm going to start to put the bleach all over that part, and then I'm going to work my way up to the front of the hairline. So one thing about closures and frontals is that, they all are different. So you're going to be testing different closures and different frontals, and you're going to realize that all of them are not the same. They don't bleach the same. Some have bigger knots, some have smaller knots. And this is all, just the quality. So if you have bigger knots, it's going to take a lot longer. If you have smaller knots, it's going to take, you know, a shorter period of time to bleach the knots. So I would suggest, especially, you know, I wish I would have done this too when I first started, is that I would say, you know, when you're looking for your bundles and your closures and your frontals, you know, and you're looking, of course, to start out with some decent quality hair, that's not gonna, you know, cost you a lot. You're looking, you know, to save some money so you can start your business. But I would say do that, but maybe invest in a quality closure. They do cost more. You're gonna have to pay more for quality closures and frontals, but it is kind of worth it because at the end of the day, when you're making your unit, you can have decent hair, but that hairline and the customizing is what makes your wig. So I would say take some, you know, take the time to search for some quality closures and you know, definitely add it to your collection, and you can get some decent quality hair without paying a lot at first. You know, you could always upgrade your bundles, which is what I did. I started out with, you know, decent quality hair. The bundles were not expensive at all. I was able to sell my wigs for decent prices. So you definitely want to do that. But I would, if I had to do it again, I would do that, get my good quality bundles, affordable bundles, and I would invest in high quality closures like the ones that I have right now. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes, and you can see that my knots have already started to change. If your knots haven't started changing after 10-15 minutes, then you know you're going to have to leave your bleach on longer, but you know, just make sure to watch it. So I'm going to let this process for about another like 5 to 7 minutes, and then I'm just going to go ahead and rinse it out. All right, so at this point, my camera died. So I had to grab my phone to finish recording for you guys. So you're gonna see me looking crazy. I have the closure in one hand and my phone in the other hand. So all I'm doing is just rinsing the bleach off of the closure. And you can see how good that looks. I'm just gonna go ahead and rinse that all off. And the closure itself looks really good. All I'm gonna do is add my purple shampoo. And I'm going to be really generous with it. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to let it sit for like anywhere between like half a minute to a minute. I don't really even need to let it sit that long. All right, and this is how it looks after I wash off the purple shampoo. And at this point, I would pretty much stop. But for the sake of the video, I just want to show you guys how to use the Wella Charm to color correct your closure or your frontal if you need to. So if it's over processed and it's looking like really brassy, you have like that yellow undertone, you can definitely use this to get rid of it. And I use the cap that's on the Wella bottle for the measurements. You only need a little bit. If you're using a larger closure or frontal, of course, you want to double or even triple the measurements. And then I'm going to put this on. Don't forget to add the water to this because it is very, very strong. It will start to revert your knots back if you're not careful. You really have to watch it. And this is how it's looking. I'm only going to leave this on for like maybe like a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to rinse it off. So after 2 minutes, I rinsed it off, and I'm going to show you how it looks. So you can see how clear that looks. Wow, it looks really good. The closure is going to look fantastic after that. So at this point, your closure should look really, the yellow undertone should and the brassiness should be gone. Just make sure to really keep an eye on it though. So this is how the closure is looking. It looks really good. It's looking like scalp, and I am ready to go ahead and sew this onto into a wig. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I know the video, I was trying so hard to get this video really perfect for you guys, but you know you can always ask me questions if you need to. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.